What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for Echo. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Finally, Echo has been released. As you guys know, I have jokingly called this Daredevil Season 3.5. You know, saying like, oh, nobody's watching the show for her. We are only watching this for Daredevil and Wilson Fisk, which, to be fair, I don't think was necessarily wrong, and they were definitely the highlights of the season, or of this mini-series, I should say. But even when you don't count them in there, and you kind of view the show by itself, what the story it's actually trying to tell with Maya, and of course her story with her family and her heritage and all that jazz, it's still a phenomenal show, man. But obviously the highlights and the reason you are here is for Daredevil and Wilson Fisk, man. And, well, Daredevil is a glorified cameo, to be fair, man. He's only in the first episode. That's the only time we see him, but Wilson Fisk definitely has a much bigger role throughout the series that we see him in the 6 episodes, which, that's, the 5 episodes, excuse me. But it's also the reason why I didn't end up doing the first impressions of this for you guys. I'm just doing the review that I used to do for the Netflix series because it all dropped on the same day, so it kind of felt kind of pointless to do a first impressions and then do the rest of the series afterwards, man. It felt better and felt made more sense just to do one video of its review of the whole thing rather than, you know, splitting it off into 2 separate videos. But yeah, man, overall, man, this show is fucking amazing, man. I love this show. It felt like Marvel Netflix. And, you know, since then, we've gotten a lot of stuff. You know, they basically, like, around the time the show got announced, around the time the show was about to start to release, excuse me, we got confirmation that now the Netflix series are indeed, like, canon to the MCU, which, to be fair, they kind of were already, like, they were always kind of canon, at least when they first started off. Then after a while, kind of like, oh, are they canon? Are they not canon? This, that, and the third. And now they've finally been confirmed to be canon to the MCU. We have that trailer that used old footage from the Netflix series from like season 1. They were added into the actual MCU timeline on Disney Plus. So yeah, they're canon now. They are now fully canon, which of course definitely does beg the question once again about the whole thing with Mahershala Ali being now playing his Blade when he was, you know, Cottonmouth in, you know, Luke Cage season 1. But to be fair, you know, I think that's something they're not going to be caring about anymore because they're apparently thinking about bringing back in Matt Mickelson back to play a different character, even though he already played like the main villain from the first Doctor Strange movie. So it looks like they just stopped giving a shit about actors already playing characters beforehand. So, you know, it's whatever. And plus, you know, Matt, you'll never hear me complain about seeing more of Matt Mickelson. I love Matt Mickelson. He's an amazing actor, so I'll be glad to see him in a new role from the MCU. Maybe that means he'll have a much bigger role in the MCU and we'll see him more than just one movie. And Mahershala Ali, I'm sure, is going to be amazing as Blade if that movie even comes out, man, because, you know, that's been having a lot of production issues as of late, man. So, you know, it is what it is when it comes to that, man. But regardless of such, man, this show is fucking brilliant, man, and yeah, man. So without further ado, let's just jump right. So the show stars, of course, Alaquia, if I'm saying her name, yeah, Alaquia, if I'm saying her, I'm probably butchering that. Cox, Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, Devery, was I say Devery Jacobs, Charlie Cox. Yes, sir. Chasik Spencer, I'm probably butchering that as well, and many more. And the plot of Echo is Mia Lopez's ruthless behavior in New York City catches up to her in her hometown. She must face her past, reconnect with her Native American roots, and embrace the meaning of family and community. Now, the cast overall I thought was great. I thought that Aliqua, I'm just gonna call her Maya just so I don't keep butchering her name. Maya, I thought she was amazing. Apparently she's like actually like deaf too. Apparently, but yeah, which I thought was interesting. They definitely went that far with her whole character and everything. But she was amazing, man. I thought her performance was overall really great, man, and she was great, man. Vincent D'Onofrio. I mean, do you even need me to say it, man? He's fucking Vincent D'Onofrio, man. We all know how amazing he is as Kingpin. So, of course, he was incredible throughout this entire season. The handful of times we do get to see him throughout Echo, man, he was fucking brilliant, man. Especially in the last episode, which we'll talk a little bit more later on in the review. I'll talk about like a little bit right here, then I'll go more in depth in the spoiler review. But I love there was this one section between Maya and Fisk during the last episode, and Vincent D'Onofrio's performance there was just absolutely just brilliant, man. I thought it was great. Then, of course, you know, you have the ice cream episode as well, where he was fantastic in there as well, man. He's just incredible, man. And of course, you know, just a sight of blood again in the MCU, and this movie is definitely getting. How do I keep saying movie? This is a TV show. The gore in the show, man, was just amazing, man. It's so good to see blood in a Marvel show once again. Yeah, we had it like Moon Knight and, you know, a couple others like, you know, fucking Falcon the Winter Winter Soldier had that one shot with U.S. Agent, and of course killing that guy with Cap Shield, which was a very like powerful shot with the shield with the blood on it. But just seeing a lot more blood in the show, man, was just nice to see like we used to get in the Netflix. I don't think it's as gory as some of the scenes we would get in the Netflix series, but for MCU standards that we typically see when it comes to blood, man, this was definitely some of the goriest we have seen in quite a long time. But yeah, she was great. He was great. Charlie Cox, the one, and we see him in the debut episode. He's fantastic as well. But I don't think you were expecting anything different, man. And I thought the rest of the cast overall was solid as well. They played their different family members and the other Native Americans throughout we see in Oklahoma. Which I was kind of shocked to find out this show actually takes place in Oklahoma, because I don't remember, because I wasn't really doing that much digging. I wasn't following this show that closely, because I just because I wasn't really that interested in it. Like, okay, Will Smith's gonna be this one, cool. We're gonna get to see Daredevil in this, cool. So I just assumed it was gonna be taking place in New York for the entire time. But no, it takes place in Oklahoma. Throughout its runtime. And also, you guys may also remember this. I mentioned this. I want to say in one of my trailer review reactions for Echo that actually part of the show was actually shot in Humboldt right after I left for summer vacation my first year. They had I mentioned the story, but if I find the screen and if I find the picture I took of it right before we left, I'll definitely put it up here for you guys. But like I saw like in the corner of my eye when I went to like one of the buildings to go to the bathroom, I saw in the corner of my eye a paper, and I thought it was like for like a DC show like Transformers or something. I figured, but then I looked at it, I'm like, oh no, it was Marvel, and it was for Echo that they were going to apparently be shooting something here. I don't know what parts were shot in Humboldt. I assume it was probably the flashbacks with the Native American tribes and those parts of the series, man. Whenever they were like really deep in the wilderness, man. I assume that's when they were shot here in Humboldt, man. But yeah, part of the show was shot in Humboldt, man. I couldn't have, and they were looking for extras. So yeah, a little fun fact for you guys. That part of it was shot there where I went to film school. But yeah, so yeah, that's a little fun fact here. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Another thing that I love about the show is, once again, we actually got a real fucking intro for this show, which, oh my god, bro, felt so nice. Because you guys know, most of the time with the Marvel shows, we either don't get an intro at all, or they just do, or just with TV shows in general, man, they just give you text. They just give you the title intros, which I hate that shit, man. I hate those title intros, man. I wish we got real intros and this was more of a prominent thing in TV shows nowadays, because it seems like nowadays everyone's just like, title only, fuck you. But we got a real intro, man, and it's amazing, man. The visuals in it are incredible, man. The song is fantastic as well. It felt very reminiscent of the Marvel Netflix shows, man, and their intros, man. They had such amazing intros, man. They also had some really great visuals to accompany that with Jessica Jones in particular was probably the best one, man. With the graphic novel they went with to obviously emulate the original Alias comic from Marvel's Max line. But yeah, like the intro for the show is fantastic, man. The ending song inside I also thought sounded pretty good. But that intro, man, was fantastic. It was just good just to see another Marvel show just have an intro for one day. It was just nice to see, at least in my personal opinion. Which, speaking of the intro, man, I gotta say, this fucking poster that they got for the show, man, looks beautiful, man. I don't know if this is like the standard poster that they went with for like mostly for advertising. This is just one of the multiple ones they made, but this painted one they did, where you see like Wilson Fisk silhouette inside with Echo inside, or with Maya. I guess her hero name is Echo. Inside of it, man, like, oh, and I might use it for the thumbnail if I can like fit it in there properly and it looks good. But yeah, that poster just looks absolutely just stunning, man. I love the look of that poster. The action sequences are brilliant. First and foremost, we have to talk about this real quick, man. The first episode, honestly, might go down, for at least for me. You could call me biased if you want to, because of my love for Marvel Netflix, man. Might be one of the best first episodes of any of the Disney Plus shows so far. I say one of the best because, of course, Loki Season 2 had an amazing one, and of course, you guys know how much I love Moon Knight. But this one might be third. I don't know. I haven't watched most of the shows, man, since they initially came out. I haven't gone back to rewatch them, so maybe my opinions would change if they were more fresh in my mind. But this first episode basically had everything that set the scene perfectly of what this show is, and just to remind you that yes, we are back with Marvel Netflix, man, because we finally get, for the first time in the MCU, at least for the TV shows, man, because we kind of got that with Guardians 3. We got one-take action sequences. Yes! Oh my god, man! That whole sequence, man, where with Echo going through like the bar, the warehouse, wherever the fuck they were going at throughout that first episode, man, where she was fighting with some of Kingpin's goons for like it's just like her first day, of like actual like proper training, or at least a field training. You know, that whole season, look at me, it was one take, man, looked amazing, man. Then, of course, you got the Daredevil fight in there, which once again was one take as well. Looked absolutely amazing choreography, man. Of course, it looked amazing just being all one take, man. It was so good to see one take action sequence make its return to the Marvel Universe, man. And, it looked so good, man. That first episode was just perfect. In every sense of the word, man. That first episode was perfect. Loved it. I got nothing negative to say, man. Of course, seeing Daryl, man, he was back in the red suit, man, so that was nice to see as well. Which definitely does make me curious to see with his appearances here. Now, I know the time of this one, because I think this one might have been like, it was like a flashback to like 2008 or something, whatever it was. Where he was wearing the red suit, because it often goes in line with the Netflix shows. It does make me wonder, like, of course, now he was wearing the Kendra Mustard's the yellow suit for She-Hulk. It does make me wonder if we're gonna, when we get to Born Again, when that eventually comes out, man, which of course you guys know has gone through its own trials and tribulations, man, with them switching writers, getting an actual showrunner in there, man, Karen and Foggy not being in the show, being killed off screen, to them now getting enough to be in the show, man, even though they only got brought in like a week ago before they like resumed production of the show, man. So there might be the case where seeing them get killed off in the show later on, which hopefully it doesn't happen, man. They're apparently going to be keeping 6 of the 8 episodes that they initially filmed throughout for the show. Original production before the actors strike happened there. They're going to redo these pilots for it, probably different timelines together with everything, man. So yeah, it's gonna be definitely interesting with Born Again when that comes out, man. And of course, which suit Daryl is he gonna go back to the red and black suit? Is he gonna be sticking to the yellow suit for the time being for that show, man? I think it's worth to find out when that show comes out. But hopefully they go back to the red and black because it looked amazing in that cover, man. I love the look of the suit in that show, and hopefully they go back to it, man. It looks way better than the yellow suit, if you ask me personally. And like, I don't even the yellow suit just doesn't make sense thematically at this point in Daredevil's career, at least for me personally, where he's at in the shows, everything he's been through. But, that's just me. Anyway, so yeah, that first episode was amazing. The other episodes had some amazing sequences as well. The second, I think it was like the second or third episode, had a really cool train sequence in there as well. The flashback sequences to like her Native American like tribe or like her ancestors were really well done. There was like this one game that they were playing there, like some like ancient version of like rugby or like hockey or something, man. Wasn't entirely sure, man. I am no Native American specialist, so I have no idea what the hell I was looking at, but hey, it looked cool at the very least, man. It looked like they shot that on IMAX footage. That was shot in IMAX because it filled the entire screen, man. That sequence looked amazing as well, man. The actual like the other flat that kind of more of like a cowboy thing that was in black and white, man, was amazing, man. That might have been the highlight of the show for me, man, because they went all the way with it, man. Because it first starts off very much in the 4:3 aspect ratio, silent, like those silent serials that were released back in like the early 1900s, man. Back when film first started coming in, man. Like those old serials. That looked amazing. They did that. They did the sound effects, the title cards, everything, and then eventually switched to just being black and white, but like widescreen, everything. And then they started adding sound to it. It looked amazing, regardless, man. Like I've said countless times, man. Black and white is a lost art, man, and it looked amazing here in this show for me personally, and it looked absolutely amazing. Of course, and then Kingpin gets introduced, man. Those whole sequences where Vincent D'Onofrio was on screen was brilliant, man. There was other action sequences as well. Like there's one in the skate ring that was also really well done as well that I really liked, man. Just the action sequences throughout this entire show, man, were just brilliantly done, man. I got no qualms for that one. And seeing how good they looked in here definitely gives me hope for Born Again, man. And I think they'll be doing great work there with Born Again. And hopefully we'll also get the one-take action sequence with Daredevil, which I think we can all agree is a staple of Daredevil at this point, that he has to have a one-take action. So the fact it was an Echo featuring Daredevil gives me hope that we'll probably see it again in Born Again. Hopefully, that's my hope anyway. As far as negatives with the show, man, I would definitely say I didn't really find most of the side characters particularly interesting. Like, they're all good. I wouldn't say any of them were bad or anything, but like they more or less just served their purpose, man. I didn't really find any of them besides like her uncle, who kind of like owns Escape Room, man. He was probably my favorite out of the crew. Particularly interesting or that really engaged for me personally. Like I said, they're all fine enough for their role. They do serve their purposes, but like there were definitely no Karen Pages or Foggy Nelsons in this show, man. In terms of side characters, man, nobody on the level of those two, man. Which so good to see that they're back at boarding, that they'll be back for Born Again, man. Just glad to see that they're in there for Born Again, man. But let's hope they don't get killed off, midway through the show or something, man. Like that, they better not pull some bullshit like that, man. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, there was that. They also never really like directly explained what happened to why Echo has a prosthetic leg, which you guys always been there with Hawkeye. Now maybe I'm just stupid, because they do give us some of her backstory, man, where she was like involved in this car accident with her mom, and I'm assuming that's where like how she had it, like where she ended up getting a prosthetic leg, because I'm assuming they had to like amputate, or maybe it got really significant, or maybe she already had one. I don't really remember particularly from that episode if she already had it before that, or it was due to the car accident. That's why they had to like amputate or whatever. That's why she has a prosthetic leg. But they never directly mentioned why she got the prosthetic leg. At least I'm just stupid and I just don't remember. I wasn't paying attention to it. But I'm assuming it was from the car accident that happened in like episode like 3 or something, whatever it was. But yeah, that's about everything I can talk at least without getting into spoilers. So we'll get more into spoilers and after I think of my final verdict and everything, man. So yeah, overall my final verdict for Echo was going to be a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, Marvel Netflix is back, as I mentioned on Twitter, and it's truly finally back, man. And I couldn't be more happy for it, man. Loving the new, look they're going with these shows, man. I love to look at this show. The way this show tournament definitely gives me hope for Born Again when that event comes out, man. Of course, we already know that we're going to see Punisher in that one as well, man. Which I'm super excited to see Frank Castle return, man, for Born Again, man. Oh my god. That's gonna be amazing, man. Hopefully they keep like Metallica or like Hell Broke Loose as like for like his entrance song, man. Like I gotta hear one of those songs during Born Again, man. I just got it, man. So hopefully we will for that. But yeah, man. Don't really go much more sale than that, guys. So as always, like I mentioned before, I will now be getting into sports country. So if you guys do not want to get spoiled, leave now. For everyone else, let's see now. This is the one thing I wanted to quickly talk about more, and this is definitely another part of the show that I really loved, was just the overall relationship between Maya and Wilson Fisk, which you obviously saw bits of this in Hawkeye, but this was definitely a bit more of a bigger focus for this show, man. We get, like, of course, we get some flashbacks to, like, when he was, like, I guess you can say raising her, or, I guess, like, molding her into, like, molding her, where we, of course, we got the one scene that was in the trails where he beats the shit out of that ice cream guy because he was an asshole for her to be like, use your words, I don't know what you're saying, which I'm pretty sure they actually use an alternate cut of it from the trailer in opposed to the actual show, because in the show, or in the trailer rather, we actually see him like moving his hands around, be like, I don't know what you're saying or whatever. Well, in the show, it's almost all of it is a behind the back shot. We're looking at it through Wilson Fisk's perspective. I could be wrong with that one, and I might misread the trailer, but it looks like they used a different cut of the scene for the trailer as opposed to what they used for the final product in the show for episode, what was it, 4? Yeah, episode 4 was that episode. But yeah, that whole scene is amazing. But then we, of course, when Wilson Fisk finally reintroduces himself, where he has the eye patch on him. Which, first of all, this is another thing I got to notice. They never actually explain what happened to his eye. Like we saw in Hawkeye that he got shot in the head. But like, how the hell, like the way it made it look, then I don't know, man, this is also a problem with the comic as well, because in the comic he had, like, in the original comic during, I believe this was actually when Bendis was writing Daredevil, he had both his eyes were like covered up. He had like, he lost like both his eyes, or like had both of his eyes bandaged, while here it's just the one eye. Like, did she like aim for his head but then shot his eye and she just assumed he was dead? Like, I don't know, and it looks like his eye still works just fine, but then again it looks like she heals it up at the end anyway, so not entirely sure what that was a little bit kind of wonky that I don't think they really explained properly. But anyway, once Wilson Fisk finally gets reintroduced into the series in like episode 3 or whatever, he introduces himself. He's rocking the eye patch, man, and then he actually puts this thing in Maya's eye, and it reveals that he's commissioned this new tech where basically this hologram kind of like reads this hologram works where like it hears what he says and actually does like holographic arms appear to sign what he's saying, so she actually knows what he's saying and he knows what she's saying, because he has like an earpiece in that kind of sees. I'm assuming this is to do with the eye patch. I don't know how the technology fully worked, but it looked cool as shit regardless. Where he can swear whatever she's signing, he has a there's like an earpiece in him that kind of translates what he's saying in the earpiece he has, so we know, so they can basically communicate without having to go in between a translator like we saw throughout all the flashbacks with Wilson Fisk and Maya throughout the show, which I thought was real cool. The tech itself looked cool as shit, and I'm sure there's some people that wish this tech was real, and I'm sure it would definitely make a lot of things easier with people that, of course, have to sign all that shit and communicating with others, man, that aren't the most well-versed in sign language. But yeah, but the tech itself was cool as shit, man. I kind of wish this shit actually exists. Maybe it does, I don't know. I am not well-versed in sign language, me personally. But that whole tech I thought was super cool. But anyway, as we continue on with that whole sequence, man, I don't think I liked about this, and this is also another scene where they like basically directly confirmed in the show something that happened in the Netflix shows to once again confirm that yes, they are indeed canon fully. Where he talks to Maya, basically telling her like, you know, having to free himself because he had to kill his dad. His dad felt, you know, powerful beating on his mom until he finally gained the courage to finally beat him, and of course beat him to death with the hammer, which we saw in season 1. And we see him present this present to her, and it's the same hammer from season 1, which I was popping off, which I popped big for, to see the hammer make its return, man. And he's like telling Maya to like, yo, come on, kill me, free yourself, you know, telling her to kill him and beat him with that hammer the same way he did to his father. And Vincent D'Onofrio's performance here, and it looks like he was also crying. I might be wrong there, but it looked like he was also crying throughout this whole sequence, man, where he's telling Maya to free herself, to free himself throughout that whole sequence, which I thought was brilliant, man. And then at the end of the last episode, where they finally kind of have the full showdown, where Maya is with like where Wilson Fisk kidnaps his grandma and her best friend, and kind of like uses them as hostages while he's speaking to Maya. First of all, this whole sequence I thought was really well done because the whole sequence, when you're seeing it through Maya's perspective. So because of course she's deaf, she can't hear a word he's saying. So while Wilson Fisk is screaming at her, you hear nothing. You don't hear anything of what Vincent D'Onofrio is actually saying until he looks over to his like best friend who is signing for him to tell her what he's actually saying, which I thought was a really nice touch to kind of get us into Maya's perspective on this whole sequence. But anyway, as we get to the later part of it, she actually like transfers her powers. I don't even know how this works. Transfer her powers over to both her best friend and her grandma. So they both start throwing hands against the guards with like Maya's powers, man. No lie, you get to see this, and you get to see her grandma throwing hands at some of the dudes, man. No lie, it looks pretty crazy. But anyway, eventually we get to the one-on-one showdown between Maya and Fisk, and they kind of go inside this room, and you see the wall kind of like cracks start forming on the wall, and it looks like, from what my understanding was of the scene, it looked like it was supposed to represent Wilson Fisk going back into his childhood where he would witness his dad beating his mother, judging from the screens, everything, man. And he's like ah, and like I'm doing this seeing so much injustice, man. Where Wilson Fisk is like kind of screaming, moving around, throwing out furniture, man, while Maya's trying to calm him down to get him to release his anger, to release his hatred, to I guess make him better, like she has for, which we can see right before that with her mom, that she had with her mom. And it looks like Mia was trying to do the same thing with Wilson Fisk, and like runs and like tips over the bed, grabs the hair and ready to throw down and save him. And Maya's trying to calm him down, be like, let go. And Vincent D'Onofrio's performance here, man, was just brilliant, man. Like I'm doing this scene such a disservice, man. I am not explaining this properly, man. But it was such an incredible scene, and Vincent D'Onofrio's performance was just absolutely incredible, man. And then it looks like she heals up his eye, so you know it's fine again. And then we end the show off there with Wilson Fisk here in this news report, basically saying that there's an opening still to run for mayor. So it's insinuating that we're going to see Mayor Fisk start at least the beginning stages of it in Daredevil Born Again, which I'm super excited for, because you guys know that was something that happened. I don't know how long this started to go in the comics, but when I started reading comics, Wilson Fisk was the mayor of New York City, and I was really digging the storylines they were doing with that, with like the Daredevil book. They did this with some of the work with some of Spider-Man's books as well, where you see Mayor Fisk kind of floating around there. So I'm really excited to see this, man, because I thought Mayor Fisk was a super cool concept when they were doing that when I started reading Marvel comics, and that would start to be brought up mostly in the Daredevil run, man. So I'm excited to see that in the Marvel shows, in the MCU, man. I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing with Mayor Fisk in the MCU, man, because I really liked how it was done in the comics, at least the ones I've read of it. So I'm excited to see how they have it handled in the show. But anyway, guys, I have rambled on long enough about the show, man. So, yeah, as always, leave your thoughts below in the comments. What you thought of the show, man? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did this show kind of make you even more excited for Born Again? Did this make you more pessimistic about it, more worried about it? Leave it all down below in the comments, guys. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on social if you feel like it. Links down below. And it's always back for more. See you guys next time.